Welcome to Keytronic in Corinth, Mississippi. I'm Mike Simone, the site general manager, and we are an EMS company that manufactures PCBAs and a variety of other products for customers in quite a few industries. We're 385,000 square feet and employ around 500 people pretty much 24/7. So what I thought we would do is actually go inside and show you some of the things that we make. So what I thought we'd do next is we'd actually walk through how a circuit board is manufactured in a facility like this. So what we're going to do is we'll first start in the surface mount area and actually go through how things are put on the board initially. Then we'll move over to the through-hole line, look at that, and then finally finish up with a finished product that we can look at and everyone can use. So to do that, I'm going to turn that over to my Director of Manufacturing, Jacob Smith.
At Keytronic, we're very metric driven. Here on one of our high-speed lines, we're displaying what our real-time data is for that line. If you follow me, we have our MPM printer. Every line in our building has an MPM printer, so we have a very stable platform that we use on all of them. After our screen printer, we have our glue placement for any mechanical attachment that we need to place via glue. And then we have our 3 Amex modules. These modules place about 60,000 chips per hour, depending on the mix of the board. We have smart feeders, which allow us to do feeder anywhere. Each reel has a unique ID on it. We scan that ID to the feeder, and then we can put it anywhere, and the machine knows where that part is, and it's going to guarantee we put it in the right place every time. After our high-speed lines, we have our operator. At that station, they're actually doing a visual inspection of the board before it goes into the oven. They're also adding any odd form parts that wouldn't normally be able to be placed on our SMT machines. After that, we have our 10 heated zone, 3 cooled zone oven that allows us to control the profile of the temperatures very precisely. It allows us to get a very good solder bond. And then we have our AOI FX 940. This allows us to do real-time quality checks on what's coming out of our SMT line. If we get any defects, it actually is reported back to the metric that we started with, and the line will be stopped and they'll adjust it accordingly. This is one of our hand load operations where we put any odd form through-hole parts in that cannot be machine placed. Our operators follow work instructions to know where to place the parts, and then they load them up here where they get visually inspected, and then they will be put through the wave solder machine. This is one of our foam fluxers. The board is getting a flux applied so the solder can better adhere to the leads and the pads on the board. This particular machine uses the foam fluxer. Our other machines actually have spray fluxers as well. Just depends on the application, the chemistry of the flux, and the board itself. So after the fluxing process, it goes through 3 heated zones where it progressively gets hotter until it gets to the temperature of about 200 degrees C. That allows the flux to properly flow through the solder joint. This is our selective soldering cell. We have 3 pillar house. We have a Mark I and 2 Mark II Jades. These 2 machines are leaded. We have lead-free capabilities on our 3rd machine. They have process cameras, infrared, topside preheat, dual solder pots if we need to switch out the solder pot from leaded to lead-free or vice versa. After selective solder, the boards come over to our touch-up station where our skill operator removes all the solder mass for tight areas where we're trying to keep solder from flowing. And then she will review the board to make sure the solder joints that selective solder put on the board are IPC standard. This is one of our automated conformal coating lines. This one in particular is shooting a silicone spray. We have capabilities for urethane, silicone, and acrylic, both UV cure and heat or air cure, depending on the chemistry that calls for on that particular product. Here you can see a board getting conveyed in. It's a fixture of 6 boards. It's going to go over, it's going to clean and purge the nozzle. So it's following a pre-programmed path so that makes sure that we get coating where we want it and keep coating away from where we don't want it. You can see on these boards there's also some masking tape just as an added barrier to keep conformal overspray from getting in connectors or on labels that are deemed critical for the product. So this is our newly installed mask making area. Currently we produce about 300,000 masks a day. We employ about 70 people over here. soon to grow into about 1.3 million masks per day. Starts with a vertical ultrasonic weld, moves into a pleated folding area, vertical weld, and then the completed flat part of the mask gets put onto the ear loop part. Elastic ear loops are placed on at this part of the machine, and then they get packed into boxes of 50. This new area that we just set up, it took us about 2 months to get it up and fully running and producing to a level that's satisfactory to us and our customer. It really showcases our ability to bring in new processes, employees, products, and show off what we're capable of doing and be successful when we do it. So this is our mirror assembly cell. This is a great example of a continuous flow production line. Units start in their bare bones state up here, and as they go through all the sections, they get a little bit more added. This station here, they're adding in circuit boards and cables, and as they move on, they're going to add more circuit boards and cables and screens and speakers, and amplifiers to run the speakers, camera systems. Then they come down here, they get the back plate put on, cosmetic plate. They get flipped over and they go into our clean room. Inside the clean room, they get the glass applied. This is another example of creativity that we have here at Keytronic, our ability to overcome obstacles and come up with creative ways to find solutions for problems. One of the creative solutions we came up with on our continuous flow production line allows us to test the unit at an angle that's similar to what the end user will have in their home.
This is our receiving area. Basically what happens is everything comes in our back dock. You can see the row of doors there. Everything is gathered in this area. We'll go through the bills of lading and any paperwork that comes in, and then finally it comes over to this desk here. Once the counts are performed and everything is satisfied, they receive it in our system, and it'll move on to receiving inspection or stock as appropriate. So this is our receiving inspection area. What we do here is the parts actually come in the back door. They have a predetermined inspection plan for every part that comes in the building. Once they arrive back here, they're received in this area. They'll take those parts, they'll pull per the appropriate sampling plan or instructions in the procedure, and then from that point they will inspect. If they find bad parts, the lot is rejected. If everything is good, they'll release those for production, and they'll actually move on to the next step, which is the stock room. So this is our shipping area. We do a couple different kinds of shipping back here. Obviously, we have customers that we ship to directly to their warehouse, and then we also do some order fulfillment type things with our customer where we ship directly to their end customer. So pretty much can do the gamut of whatever you need here, depending on what your requirements are. So we want to thank you for spending a little time with us today. As you can see, we do a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and we'd like to do something for you. So if you see something that you have a question about or would like to talk to us about further opportunities, we'd love to hear from you.